Parliamentary updates.
In keeping with the month of patriotic celebrations, the Rotunda Gallery at the Red House put on its latest exhibition, Red, White and Art. The theme is aligned with Sustainable Development Goal number 11, Target 4, which calls for strengthening efforts to protect and safeguard the world's cultural and natural heritage. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Bridget Anisette George, addressed the gathering.
Our independence was fought and won. Yes, it was a battle of words and negotiations at Marlborough House with Spartans of the like of the then Premier, Dr. Eric Eustace Williams, Sir Ellis Clark, who later was TC, and Dr. Rujanath Kapildeo TC, among others, whose efforts, and arguably some greater than others, hammered out the contentious philosophical issues to birth the nation-state of Trinidad and Tobago.
Recalling the momentous occasion, Madam Speaker reminded those present of the ceremony on that day in 1962.
Many of you may not know that this very space 61 years ago was the epicenter for the conferral of independence. Just outside this building, in the courtyard on Abercrombie Street side, the Union Jack was lowered, and in its place was raised ours, the red, white, and black, the national flag, a symbol of nationhood, and one which called for us to unite and commit ourselves to the new Trinidad and Tobago.
She reinforced that this country's citizens have even more potential for greatness.
I started in my welcome address by highlighting both past and present developments in the history of our nation, and by outlining some of our national achievements. It is in this vein that the Rotunda Gallery's exhibition is forged under the theme of Red, White, and Art.
The Parliament channel spoke with some of the artists present.
So my inspiration for this piece of artwork was with regards to this year's becoming the first time that we are introducing World Steel Pan Day, as well as showcasing Trinidad's 61st independence. I created this piece to showcase the pan and all the national things that represents Trinidad and Tobago. There's an incorporation of the scarlet ibis, the coquelicot, in our national flower, which is the Chiconia, and then there's a hummingbird incorporated into there. And then there's a reflection of the city of Port of Spain as well too in there. And then there's the fireworks, which represents our independence itself. So all of the images incorporates things of Trinidad and Tobago and what we are proud to be about. The entire exhibition, I think, is wonderful. It showcases Trinidad and Tobago and the talent that Trinidad and Tobago has, the artists, the different types of individuals that contribute to this entire thing.
I like the traditional aspects of our mass, because we spend a lot of time and there's a lot of coverage for the more modern mass, the pretty beads and the feathers and whatnot, but our traditional characters, our traditional mass, I like the spirit of it. There's something very alive, very, very vigorous about how they portray. And especially these guys, the fire breathers, they are something special. They are, I think, you see other places, they try it, but it's certainly not the same. Our guys are very, very unique. This was part of a presentation that they were doing, and he was, they get so much into their element and their zone. This is something that I absolutely had to capture. So, a little bit of risk and a little bit of closeness on the ground. And here we are, this rather spectacular moment in time with him breathing flame like the dragons of old. But the exhibition is fantastic. There are some really, really blessed and talented people in our country. The art is just amazing. There's some really fantastic pieces. I would suggest anybody come down, have a look. You'd be amazed, you won't be disappointed.
this piece was inspired by the Dan Mass. It's basically embodying protection, and it's on protecting African culture in Trinidad and Tobago. And this piece was also for me to experiment different materials. So like I did a lot of experiments with tissue paper here, and I used canvases, I used thumbtacks, I used das and stuff like that. So basically just, embodying, protecting African culture in Trinidad and Tobago, and also experimenting. And it took about a month to be completed. It was really a beautiful experience. I was going through an Afrocentric phase, and I also wanted to tie it back to Caribbean culture as well. I think it's beautiful, a really great opportunity for other artists to meet each other and to communicate and to also learn from other artists as well, because I'm enjoying and learning and, seeing other techniques, and it's a really beautiful experience.
I did these pieces when it was COVID, and I didn't have the inspiration to do anything. And I was listening to a lot of folklore at a point in time, and I was like, these illustrations would be perfect because I have the description, so I just have to put my imagination to it, and then I got out of the rut. It usually takes me around 2 to 3 days if I'm going straight. If I'm not, because I work as well, it takes me like a week. I think that it's full of talent. I love a lot of the pieces. I have a lot of good composition and a lot of nice ideas, and it makes me and all think like, oh, maybe I could try something like that, and oh, this is nice, and I like how this looks. So it's really inspiring.
So basically my piece is the symphony in red, white and black, and obviously it was inspired by just Independence Day, Republic Day, just being patriotic to Trinidad and Tobago. As a fellow pan player, like a symphony, you need all of the pieces to work together. So you have your frontline pans, background, percussion, the drums, and while they could all stand apart, for the symphony and the music to really sound good, you need all of them to come together. So it was about pan, like symbolic, it's abstract. So you'll see these circles kind of representing your pans, etc. But more so on a deeper level, just Trinidad and Tobago, like we have different races, different religions, different socioeconomic statuses. But if we all don't come together to work together, then Trinidad and Tobago will not improve. It took me probably a week because I was probably working on several pieces at the time. So I did this piece in 2020 during COVID, which is where I kind of refound my love for art, which I did in secondary school. So it was a lot of experimenting during COVID period with different mediums, different styles, etc. Because I was never really an abstract artist. I was really more portraits and graphic art. So it's kind of new, and I'm excited to just continue this journey as an artist. This is very interesting, very exciting to be part of it. This is the first time I've actually submitted a piece for an exhibition. So I was elated to receive the email and exhibit with a lot of these other amazing artists. So it's a nice variety, different mediums. We have woodwork, we have paper quilling, we have acrylics, oil. So I think it's a nice depiction, a nice spread, and you kind of just feel kind of good inside when you see so much patriotic, whether it's just even the colors, and we are known to be colorful as well. So even if the pieces are not like traditional red, white and black, you see in the color, you see in the liveliness that is Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm really excited to be here and to meet some of the other fellow artists, and hopefully this will be the first of many.
The exhibition highlights 88 pieces done by 65 artists and runs until September 29th. Stay tuned for more parliamentary updates. For more information, visit our website at www.ttparliament.org and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram.
Parliamentary updates.